Before you buy or rent property, you need to compare prices, right? No worries. Simply log on to byronkenya.com and see all Kenyan properties in one website. It's that simple. byronkenya.com, Kenya's #1 property website.
Welcome to Citadel.
Thank you.
Let me just take you through this one of the buildings that we are letting. Look at some of the tenants we have here.
Right.
We've got British Airways, we've got Extranet. One of my friends works there, and I'll take you to his office and he will explain to you why he chose this building as his location.
But before we go to Extranet, what is so fascinating about the Citadel as an ideal space?
It is its location.
Tell me more.
Its location. It is in a prime, it's not really in the center of Westlands, and it's not in CBD, it's in between. So that it is not too crowded in terms of traffic, and it is an ideal location, it's not too noisy, and it's an ideal location for any SME or medium-sized enterprise.
Now, when they were designing this building, they had so many things put in place.
Yes.
But then again, as a structure itself, was it one of its kind then and even now?
Oh yes, certainly it was, because this whole area was mainly residential. So when Citadel was built, which was maybe about 9 years ago, it is one of the few commercial buildings that had come in between Museum Hill and Westlands, in between Mthithi and Westlands Road. So it was a first of the buildings, and it was in a high location. So it is sort of at the top of Westlands. So it has got good views towards any part, Upper Hill, Parklands, or to industrial area.
Great, great.
Okay.
Good. Shall we?
Let's go. What?
This one's quite interesting. It gives you a feel of Westlands.
Yes, this building gives you a very good feel of what Westlands used to be. You've got Mthithi Road on that side, and you've got Westlands on that side. This building, Citadel, is actually on Mthithi Road, but as you can see, all these new buildings that have come up around Westlands. This was just primarily residential, and all the properties have slowly transformed, changed of user into commercial office buildings.
Yeah.
And the few buildings that you can still see down there are the buildings that have not gone through our redevelopment or been changed, got a change of user and redeveloped. So you will find that these are old houses that were in the 50s, mainly occupied, was like the Asian community area.
Yeah.
But you will see the landscape is completely changed, and Citadel is a building that is nine floors. There are 2 wings on each floor, and I will go down and I'll show you how the floors have been split. It's a building that has got 107 car parkings. It's got a 350 kVA standby generator.
Yes.
And there's adequate parking, at least a ratio of 2 car parking bays for 1,000 square feet.
I mean, what's your take on this building in as far as the design of the structure is concerned?
The building, the good thing about this design is they've got small flexible spaces. What I mean small is spaces of about 2,000 square feet that are in 2 wings that can be used as 1 floor. And there's a central atrium in the middle of the building, which brings in a lot of light. And of course, where we are standing is an open terrace, which is very good for use by any of the tenants for functions or for offering catering services to their staff.
Gikonyi, without sounding too much subjective, I think this is too much space wasted here.
It is looking at it from 2 points of view.
Right.
When you're looking at it from a point of view, as a tenant, you like this creation of space through an atrium, the light coming through, gives you a sense of a nice office space to work with.
Right.
But from a property investor or a property developer, you want everything
maximize, maximize on the spaces.
You want to use maximum space, and there's a terminology we use, the efficiency ratio of the building. And what you would like to look at is an efficiency ratio of about 85% on gross built-up area vis-a-vis lettable area. So sometimes when you have too many central atriums, when you have buildings that are round or curved, you could lose, they sometimes lose ease of functionality and ease of being, to be able to people to work in. As a tenant trying to fit it out and have people working in this environment might be able to be a bit much more difficult.
Two spaces that you've shown me, the Lavington Mall and the Citadel, where we are standing on. Less is more in architecture. How does that bring in, or rather how does that complement, or how does that bring these two buildings that we visited together?
I think you've got to look at them two differently. I mean, Lavington Mall is a retail, this is commercial offices. So they have to be done. The philosophy of how you approach the design is different because they're serving different functions. And that is why you cannot really be able to compare them because they're not both like for like. Let me show you the office is one of the tenants, Extranet, which is a communications, ICT communications office. And how are you? We'd like to see Mr. Henry Joroge. Okay. Then
We can
walk.
see him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
No worries, yeah.
Thanks.
Nice.
Yes. So this is an office. You've seen how efficient this space has been used, with workstations, an open plan, with the but let's meet Mr. Njoroge and he'll pick us up.
Maybe he'll be in a position to.
Oh, Henry.
Oh.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Kitonga, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Pleasure.
Oh, karibu, karibu.
Well, please, I'd like to introduce you Tim Jero.
Nice to meet you.
We are shooting a show about commercial office space and I wanted to show them a typical office space. And would like, if you be kind enough to show us a bit around your office and give us an experience of being a tenant at Citadel.
Oh, that's fine.
This is your boardroom?
Yeah, this is our boardroom.
What rubbish. Yeah.
And this is where we normally have our management meetings and departmental meetings.
Right.
We try to make it a bit vibrant.
I see with the colors that you've chosen.
It's the ladies who chose them. So this is a lounge. We're trying to create a space where people can just relax because sometimes we work a bit late because of the nature of our job. You know, we have 24-hour support for our customers. So sometimes the tech is, they're tired, they want to take a break. So it's just a small place where you can have tea, have lunch, watch telly, listen to music, stuff like that.
Well, sounds when the boss is around, nobody's here.
Yeah.
There's nobody here today.
But I'm happy when it's empty because it means people are working. Oh, you got it? Oh, good. Then this place is what we call the general office space. So we have the finance team, then we have the sales team, and that's the idea of the technical team.
Good.
This here is the help desk. So what we do is, because we have a lot of clients who depend on us for their service, we monitor on a 24/7 basis. The heart of our network is in here. So this is our data center. It's a little bit noisy, but I think you'll cope with it.
What makes this spot that you're in, this commercial office, the ideal space, now that it's sitting in Westlands?
Now, the reason why we chose this space is one, it was one of the few offices at that time that had all the fibers coming in. Now, downstairs, there's a customer called BCS. They represent Teams. There's another one on first floor, which represents the Easy cable. Then you have all the other cables. So we have all the undersea cables here. So we are like on the ring, what do you call the ring? So if one fiber gets cut, we go round to the other one. So our network uptime here is almost 100%. So that's one of the main reasons we chose it. So you go down the road, we feed them with fiber. And in fact, if you go to the roof, you'll find they have radios, which means some of them didn't have fiber in the beginning. But here, everybody's on fiber. So that's the main reason, number one. Number two, the layout of the building is very convenient for parking. And because I think the plot was a bit sloped, so they have multi-level parking. So you've got a lot of parking for the size of the building.
Yes.
Then the third one is that it's sort of on a hill. Because remember, we are on network, so we have put a base station for wireless customers. So we are a little bit on the hill on Muthithi Road. So when you go to the roof, you can see the whole of Nairobi. So if you put a base station here, it goes all the way to Dandora. You can see industrial area, you can see Upper Hill, you can see Westlands. So it's very convenient for us to put a communication tower here. And then of course the proximity, you know, somebody coming in at night, it's very easy. During the day, we have public transport here. So it's convenient, but it's not in Westlands, which is full of traffic. So in fact, like when I'm trying to go to the bank, which is on the other side of Westlands, I dread because I have to pass through Westlands. But from here, if I want to go to town, I just go around, I'm in the highway. So I'm not like someone who is in the Westlands center, yet I have all the conveniences of being a little bit out of town. So it's a very ideal location.
So Mr. Gikonya, this is not so accidental.
Yes.
For clients such as this to be in this ideal office space.
It's clients who have gone through a thought process to determine where the location, where they want to locate the offices. And there are a lot of factors that have got to be taken into consideration before you locate your office. And this is one of the clients who has taken time to think through of where they want to be located.
Great. We'll leave Mr. Extranet and go to our next spot.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Andrew.
No problem.
I'll give you a call, eh?
All right. No
Thank
problem.
you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Up to you, sir.
Tim, welcome to Corporate Business Park. This is one of the newest available to let buildings in Upper Hill. It is an office block of 5 office blocks. There are 4 of the similar size. We're standing just at the entrance to a basement parking and a ground level podium parking. This property sits, this is the first phase, and below us there are 2 basement parkings. We've got the 4 blocks, which are 4 distinct blocks, and they're available to a client who wants to use them either as one, which is because it's only about 20,000 square feet for each block. So a tenant can take one block and use it as a corporate headquarters and easily brand it for themselves. The floor layouts are typical of about 5,000 square feet, split into about 2,300 and 2,200 square feet in 2 wings, but in a typical floor would make about 5,000 square feet.
The whole show, this past couple of minutes, we've discussed different spots for commercial outlets. How has this been possible for you? Who are you working in partnership to make this a success?
Oh, we are working with various people to make this a success, but most importantly, we've partnered with Buy Rent Kenya to try and showcase our properties, because they are the largest digital portal in Kenya, and they've got a good reach for us, and we find that they've been very effective in being able to getting us to market our properties.
Right, so when Buy Rent Kenya comes on board, it means some of the spaces either to let or to buy you'll be advertising on their portal, right?
That's correct. I mean, when we trying to market most of our properties, we can do it through our own website and through our own network of clients that we know. But by going to Buy Rent Kenya, we have opened ourselves to the rest of the world.
Right, yes. Because of their reach as an online property portal.
Yes, that's correct.
Great.
Yes.
Mr. Kikonyo, I've learned quite a lot about just how commercial spaces are transforming from design spaces to the architectural corners, what's happening in the architectural world. It's really been a pleasure. Many thanks.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.
It's that simple. BuyRentKenya.com, Kenya's #1 property website.
Well, and that does it for this week's edition of The Ideal Space. Share with us your comments, suggestions and thoughts on our viewer address. My name is Tim Jiru. The question we like to ask you every single week is, how ideal is your space? Bye for now.
The Ideal Space. How ideal is your space?